Oh.
Struck.
Oh, gee. From garbage man to pro free runner, the Dom Tomato story. Sure.
Oh my god! Dom Tomato is a living legend in the world of parkour. He is the most followed freerunner on Instagram with 1.4 million followers. He's part of Team Farang and he has a sponsorship from Red Bull. But
What?
before front flipping down Leon 25,
Oh!
slamming on his face from 3 stories,
Oh!
garbage man working a night shift to make ends meet.
Well, this is
How did his face look? You can't just tell us how his face didn't... Or not tell us. How was his face? 3 stories? And he lands on his fucking... What?
Dom was a garbage man working a night shift to make ends meet.
Well, this is rubbish.
Today we're going to explore the extraordinary story of how a young man from Australia grew up to be one of the most well-known freerunners on Earth. Alright, so a quick backstory on Dom Tomato. Dom Tomato was born in a bathtub in Brisbane, Australia. Instantly, his parents recognised he was different as he had very broad shoulders and a very long torso. His parents being world-class athletes, his mum being a PT, it was pretty clear that Dom was going to probably end up as some kind of athlete. Throughout his childhood, he experimented with pretty much every sport you can imagine and found a particular skill in ice skating. Dom would win countless ice skating competitions, and not only would it build his aerial awareness, but every single day he would be slamming onto hard ice.
Wow.
As time passed, Dom grew bored of ice skating and started doing different things like dance. And despite excelling in nearly every sport he tried, he could never find something
He's got moves.
he was passionate about. That was until one day. At age 15, Dom's life would change forever.
How?
Before we continue, a massive thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring today's video. I'm gonna be honest, growing up, I used to love eating cereal. But as I got older, I started to realise there's a lot of sugar in cereal. So unfortunately, I kind of just cut it out entirely. But then I found out about Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon is a grain-free cereal that contains 0 grams of sugar, 14 grams of protein, and only 4 net grams of carbs in each serving. Also, it's only 140 calories. Right now, I'm tucking into the cocoa flavour, which is definitely my favourite. Like, no word of a lie, this tastes as good as like the super high sugar cereals that you would get at a supermarket. On top of that, for people with strict diets, it's keto friendly, it's gluten free, grain free, soy free, it's low carb and GMO free. So click the link below to grab a variety pack.
So it's missing all of the good stuff.
Also be sure to use the code JimmyTheGiant at checkout. You'll get $5 off of any order. Or you can go to magicspoon.com/JimmyTheGiant. Anyway, back to the video. One morning in 2007, Dom booted up his computer and he went on to www.youtube.com.
Dom
came across a single video.
Some of you won't even know.
Completely changed soy-free dollars off of anything. In 2007, Dom booted up his computer and he went on to
Look at this. Some of you won't even remember YouTube looking like this. We used to rate things by stars. Look, the buttons were yellow. To subscribe to someone, it was a gold button. This is the shit we used to do. This is the shit I started watching back in the day. Oh, there were so many random videos that just blew up. I can't even remember them now off the top of my head. But this is just a blast from the past, just seeing all of this. I think when I started uploading to YouTube, the subscribe button was still gold. I'm not sure. I should look into that, actually. I'd be curious.
To www.youtube.com. Dom came across a single video. This single video would completely change his whole life. And that video was titled Urban Ninja. Urban Ninja was an incredibly iconic video from the early parkour era. For a good chunk of the video, he was in a shopping centre, flying down staircases and leaping across balconies.
He's a madman.
Worried shoppers would walk past, staring at him in disbelief.
Nope, not for me.
As soon as he had done watching this video, he went deep into a rabbit hole of looking at parkour videos. That very same day, Dom went out on his lunchtime to try some of these moves out. For the years that followed, Dom would live a very busy life. Still doing ice skating and dancing, but now parkour.
shit, man.
Dominic eating a raw egg.
That's cool.
Don't do it.
Ew!
In the early days, Dom didn't
Why?
have a local parkour community. He didn't have anyone to teach him how to do things properly and correctly. He would just go out with his friends and try the things that they saw.
Yeah, because he's just a kid.
This was all until one day when Dom discovered the Sydney parkour community. They would teach him many things, new techniques, new moves. But on top of that, Dom would get to experience the world of parkour. Dom became completely engrossed in the parkour community. And by the age of 19, Dom had reached a very high level in parkour. He was good. And people started to notice. Around this time, Dom had stumbled across an opportunity of a lifetime. It was around this time in 2010, 2011, where Team Freerunning were being created. Team Freerunning being one of the most pivotal parkour teams in sports history. Dom was there with them in Thailand at the inception of their team. The chances that Dom would be invited onto the team was looking pretty good. Dom was living the dream, out in Thailand, partying every day with some of the best freerunners on earth. The future was looking bright. However, the day Freerunning was announced, Dom's name was nowhere to be seen.
What? Why?
This hit Dom pretty hard. It was a massive blow to Dom's confidence. On top of this, at the same time, Dom had suffered a pretty nasty ankle injury. And all in all, Dom's motivation for parkour had started to drop. For the first time in years, Dom had been weeks without doing parkour. And instead, he'd started to hang around with these new friends and he was partying quite a lot. Dom's focus in life had very quickly changed, and not for the better.
Hey, we've all been there.
Dom had taken a job as a garbage man. The money was good, but he was working the graveyard shift. From 12 AM to 11 AM, 5 days a week. Needless to say, this left him with very little energy for parkour. Eventually, he'd be taken off the graveyard shift and put onto the 5 AM shift, alongside his very close friend, Mark's Masters. The two would work together, they rented a place together, and they would train parkour together.
That was the coolest contest ever.
Working on these trucks was grueling.
I can't fault him. I can't do half of this shit. Like, I can't do any of it, rather.
Kilometers. And they would lift anywhere from 500 to 1,000 bins in a day. However, now they were working at 5 AM. And the way that their contract worked was they got paid until 1 o'clock, no matter what. This presented an opportunity. If the two sprinted through their work, they pushed and made it as physically hard as possible, and they finished early, then they would have the whole day to do what they wanted. They got so good at doing...
What employer offers that contract? I need that. I'd just bang through all my work then. Yeah. Oh, you finish early because you got your work done? Oh, I need a job like that. Someone get me in touch with their dad or their uncle or their mom or their sister or their cousin or their cousin's auntie's best friend. I need a job like this. But not in garbage. Actually, yeah, never mind. I'm waffling.
Finish on average at 10 AM every day.
So much time for activities.
From this, they were training hard every single day, pushing each other and progressing, all whilst waking up at 4 AM, running an insane distance and throwing bins into the back of a garbage truck. From here, they decided to start a parkour team called Crew 42, who were a legendary OG team out of Sydney. They would film their trainings, post videos to YouTube, and build quite a lot of notoriety. Life was starting to pick up. They would work hard in the morning, train hard in the day, sleep like a log, and do it all again.
I'd love to try, but like my back is so fucked.
This wasn't enough. Like, sure, they were having fun, but Dom felt that this didn't have any progression, and that this was just going to be it for the rest of their lives. Dom wanted more. At the 2014 For the Love of Movement event, they announced a video competition.
The movement is so fluid.
If you won this video competition, as long as you could get to For the Love of Movement, they would cover your food, your entry, and your accommodation. And after entering, Dom had found out he had won.
Oh wow, shit.
Dom was obviously ecstatic, but he still had to cover the cost of the flight. This is where the Sydney parkour community would rally together in support of Dom. Athletes
They just raised the money?
donating money to fly Dom out to For the Love of Movement. And through their hard work, they had raised enough money to fly Dom out to the Netherlands to go to For the Love of Movement. And on the day that Dom would fly out, he picked up his phone and created an Instagram account. That Instagram account being Dom Tomato.
Wow, he didn't have the Insta before?
Experience the world of parkour. This was a truly international event where he was able to meet his idols that he grew up watching on YouTube. And he didn't just get to see them, but they talked to him and trained with him and accepted him for who he was. You see, Dom growing up kind of struggled with socializing. This young kid with loads of energy was often just written off as being hyper and annoying, and he never quite fit in. For Dom to be accepted by this whole community and athletes that he had looked up to for his whole life, he realized that this was where he belonged. In the height of the event, Dom on the final day would set up to do a front flip. And not just any old front flip. This was a front flip that others had joked about doing. Like they weren't being serious. But Dom looked at it and said, I'll do it. And he did it. No.
What?
This was truly like nothing that freerunners had probably witnessed in person before. Up until this point, people didn't really do flips like this. Dom had truly mastered the diving front flip technique and would be able to take impact that for most people would break their legs. Like Dom's highest flip to date is something like 28 feet. What Dom has been able to do with front flips is nothing short of incredible. From this event, Dom has done countless massive diving fronts. Not just onto grass, but onto hard concrete. So you may be wondering, how is Dom able to do these front flips? And it's kind of funny. So Dom was telling me that when he grew up, he would watch parkour on YouTube. And he would see people doing these massive front flips. Or at least, it looked like they were doing these massive front flips. Dom was unaware that many of these classic front flips, like the one that Blue did in Storm Volume 1, were actually faked. And poor Dom, bless him, thought that these were all real. And so he thought he could do the same. And he did.
What?
Without the crash.
Wait. It didn't even occur to me that they could be faked. Because, yeah, you can blue screen now, or green screen, or red... I don't know, red screen maybe. But yeah, because the reverse of this is blue. My green screen. Holy shit. So wait, these people were faking the parkour? And this guy just thought he could do it? Well, no wonder he got a fucking ankle injury then.
Crash mats. Holy...
Yeah, it was... the grass is so soft that, like... Yeah, kind of like bounced the roll a little bit, but it was still less.
I was wondering, how does Dom's body take this impact? And although he doesn't really know, he was showing me that on his body, he has these kind of like gel packs.
You know how there's kickboxers' shins and they have that, like you said, like their scar tissue build up and it's more resilient. I have that on my elbow from rolling.
Oh wow,
yeah. That's all scar tissue, and that goes like a puffy gel pack if I hit it. Like, see, even now, it's getting a bit jelly as a response to me hitting it. It's going. But this is the best one. It's going to be a bit weird because I'm kind of showing you my butt.
No, okay, whoa, hold on.
Left hip. I don't know.
Okay, right. He's just showing his hip, guys. Calm down.
Look, I know that sounds ridiculous, but hear me out. His body has now like mutated from taking so much impact that when he rolls, he has these areas on his body that kind of like inflate with gel. And Dom's
I'm speechless. I don't know what the fuck.
A way to deal with impact.
Madness.
Dom would carry this momentum with uploading to Instagram. And in that same year, this would lead him to Art of Motion 2014. However, again, Dom couldn't afford his flight. His friend and teammate, Carl Luca, paid for his flights to Art of Motion under one. When you get out to Art of Motion and you compete in the qualifiers, if you get through to the main competition, Red Bull will refund your flights. And without any doubt, Dom completely wowed Santorini, qualifying first in the first round and third in the second.
Wow. He's so agile, fam.
Before the finals, Dom would have a pretty nasty bail and was unable to compete. However, this didn't really matter because Dom had gained something from this event that was more important than
clout.
And that was, after all these years, he finally knew what he wanted to do in life.
Oh.
And that was to do parkour professionally. And he was driven more than ever
That too.
to turn parkour into a full-time career. Shortly after his return, Dom had arranged a meeting with the Apes Gym. He sat them down and told them that his dream was to be sponsored by Red Bull. The Red Bull sponsorship is pretty much the holy grail of parkour sponsors. They pay you a wage to do parkour and feature in their really elaborate videos. But Dom knew in order to reach that goal, he needed an opportunity to fully chase it. The Apes Gym put their heads together and decided to offer Dom a sponsorship. Dom was now on the ladder. He was able to do parkour full time, meaning he could dedicate pretty much all of his time toward parkour.
That's class.
Trying to get the Red Bull sponsorship.
Big up Apes Gym.
Progress, so
Jeez.
Dom's movement. Dom was not only doing these insanely high impact moves like dive fronts, but now he was starting to develop his technique.
Oh!
And around 2016 to 2018, as the wave of flip precisions became popular, Dom's ability to do these massive jumps was starting to be combined with very precise technique.
Yes, he's so precise.
Dom completely mastered flip precision.
Like all of the
Dom's
plants.
Contributions to the world of parkour accelerated parkour by years. The things he can do and the things he's achieved are things that literally when I started parkour were jokes. The idea of flipping to a handrail was something you would say as a joke. And here we have Dom doing it and uploading it to Instagram.
What are you doing?
Every single day.
Jesus.
In 2015, Dom grew over 100,000 followers on Instagram. At the next Art of Motion in 2015, Dom qualified on site. And amongst the crowd and the judges and the fans, there was a certain group of people who were looking at Dom very closely.
Huge power in his leaps. I like how he's using a lot of the chorus.
Jesus, man.
Big front.
And that was Team Farang. And Farang had mentioned the possibility of Dom joining Team Farang.
Oh, at long last.
Dom was taken aback. The setback all those years ago where he didn't get into Farang really affected him. And the feeling that he felt when Team Farang reapproached him made Dom realize something.
Do you think by not getting into Farang, that gave him the motivation to kind of push himself harder? You know, like maybe if he got into Farang, maybe he would have failed. If you get me. I know he was very agile and maybe I'm wrong. Just some speculation.
All those years ago where he was young and naive, he assumed that just because he was good at parkour, Team Farang would be lucky to have him. But at the time, that wasn't the case. Dom...
Fucking smooth.
At that point in his life, Dom was more interested in partying than taking parkour and his career seriously. But despite that setback, Dom's ability to pick himself up and grind and achieve things that no one in parkour's history had done.
Damn, dude.
The ethic that Dom had now achieved made it very clear that he deserved to be on Farang. And in February of 2016, Dom was announced as a new member on Team Farang.
Hey!
It is.
Dom spent most of that year away from his hometown, traveling around the world and training with the highest level freerunners on the planet. And at this point, Dom had truly become one of the best and most well-known freerunners across the whole world of parkour. A new year rolled around and Dom had made a close friend in a man named Basti. Basti worked at Red Bull. And the two of them moved to Sydney. They met a number of times across that year. Dom was at the height of his career, in the best physical shape and breaking people's understanding of what's possible in parkour. Everything was lining up pretty perfectly for Dom to reach his dream of joining Red Bull. That was until one day in China.
Oh no. What happens in China?
May 2017. Tianmen.
Tianmen Mountain.
Dom had been hired to design this incredible parkour course. Like, the word incredible really undersells this thing. This was insane. A massive parkour course that descended down the sky ladder at Tianmen Mountain. And as Dom was reaching the final part of his run at the competition, disaster struck.
Oh, jeez.
This bail looked life-threatening. The entire audience was in panic as Dom laid on the floor. Eventually, Dom regained himself and got on his feet, and somehow managed to walk away with
How's his
just
face?
a dislocated
Oh,
wrist
wow.
and a fractured skull.
A fractured, just a fractured skull and a fractured wrist.
He would train through these injuries.
First flip since accident.
Big Pimpin, Parang style.
Stop!
He didn't fall over. He's learning.
Slowly,
He's in a cast.
but still blowing people's minds at what he could do given his situation. However, his parkour career had kind of hit a standstill.
Dude, you're gonna hurt yourself more.
Worry was hanging over Dom's head as he hadn't heard anything back from Red Bull.
Man.
Undeterred, Dom continued to train and travel and do parkour. He gave up having his base in Sydney and was full-time traveling around the world. Dom slowly recovered and he kept striving.
The balance.
From the fail that could have killed him. All he knew was to keep going and keep grinding. Dom didn't know how to quit. And on one day at Camp Woodward in the USA, Dom received a message from his friend, Basti, telling him the Red Bull sponsorship was all good to go ahead.
Yes.
Signed to Red Bull. And it took him a while to really register what had happened. This goal of his for the last 5 years of his life had happened. He'd achieved his dream. This young Aussie, who grew up as an annoying, hyperactive nuisance child, jumping from one interest to the other, had become one of the most well-known freerunners on planet Earth and had received sponsorship from Red Bull. All the while consistently breaking the boundaries within parkour. To me, Dom is a true inspiration, a story of perseverance and motivation. I've only met him once, but meeting him, he just radiated this energy. At this big jam full of freerunners of all different skill levels, but regardless of how well known and how famous he was,
How does he not snap his knees? Oh!
Give him this really positive energy that radiates, and you can really see it in his vlogs when he's training.
I understand landing on the sand and stuff, but when you're landing on the...
Dom will get just as excited over a beginner achieving a 1 foot standing jump between two curbs as he will seeing someone do a diving front of 20 feet.
Woohoo, yes, go left.
That's how you need to be.
It's that positivity and always looking up, never letting any setback take him down. That, to me, beyond any achievement he has had, and he has had many, is the thing that makes him one of my favourite athletes ever. You probably already follow Dom on his Instagram, but definitely go subscribe to his YouTube, where you can see the human behind these incredible...
Dom Tomato, boys.
Enjoyed that video. If you did, be sure to leave a like. And
Dom Tomato.
Parkour Bucket List is out now, so you can massively help me out by picking one of them up, or by donating to me on Patreon or using the sponsored link below. Peace.
Dude, that's madness. That is madness. A parkour challenge race.